Hello, welcome back to T&D&D. I'm here with Laura in the flesh.
I exist.
She does
Wow.
exist, and she's talking more than one sentence, like she did for our little promo thing for our hats.
Come off of Discord.
It's there for the questions. I'll have
Oh.
you know. We technically only got one. Thank you, Ashley. But there's someone else who asked for like a video. And I thought, yeah, I don't think it's worth a video because I've only ran like half of the modules. They're asking about like me ranking them all. I've only ever done like half of them. I'm not a real D&D player. You need to run every single module
That makes
before
me
you're a
even
D&D
less
player.
of a D&D player.
Because you haven't run one in your life.
No.
You did a session once and then another one once where
They were both fails.
I was a real big fan of the second one.
Oh yeah, the Goose campaign.
The Goose campaign.
That, to my day, is my best campaign, but it was still a massive fail.
I mean, we got to kill gooses in Mario Kart
Yes.
style, so that's a success in my book.
If I remember, I'll link it in the description, but whether I remember or not.
Link what?
The mechanics, because it was on
Oh, yeah, you used Mario Kart mechanics.
Yeah,
It was all
Reddit.
going great until you realised that the course was way too freaking big.
Yeah.
And the entire, like, half an hour that the Mario Kart thing was going on, we never made a turn.
Yeah, it was a bit... You ended up killing everyone
It devolved.
before getting anywhere. Like, that was extra mechanics that you could do in it, and I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll add these extra mechanics.
One of them was some of them were ridiculous. So one is like we changed the song that was going on
Yeah.
at the moment. What else was there? There was like a spray can of something.
Yeah.
The
The soundtrack was pretty good, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, we had Wii music, we had actual Mario Kart songs.
Yeah, we had Coconut Wall going on
Yeah.
when we did that. It
We
was great.
definitely did.
I
Jumped
just
to
spent
Coconut
most of my time there. I think Chris was just continuously moving the cart forward,
Yeah.
and I was just chopping off the heads
I
of
think
all of
Rob
the geese.
was more killing everyone than
Yeah.
you were, to be honest.
Yeah, I was turning it a little bit, I think, but Rob, his, what was it, like 2 hit point wizard
Yeah.
at level, like,
yeah.
2, had just leapt from cart to cart and just started firebolting them.
Yeah. I also want to mention how much I friggin' photoshopped for that campaign. I got all
Goose barmaid!
Yes. If I can find any of these pictures, I may insert them if I have the time.
It was a goose with titties.
Yes, I gave the goose boobies. I also put all of you in a cart for that go-kart.
Yeah, you did. You
Thing.
got like a little wooden cart thing, and you just
Yeah.
put all of
I
our images in
photoshopped
there.
all of your characters' images in. Yeah, there was a goose barmaid, a goose king,
You just put a
goose
crown on.
jester.
There was the messenger as well.
Yes. What else did I do?
Why do we remember this so well?
I don't know, but we do.
It was memorable, to be fair.
I
It
do
was a
not
whole
want to
bunch
do
of
that.
shenanigans, and then we killed a bunch of ducks at the end,
Yeah.
and almost party wiped. But since I built optimally and the other two didn't,
Yes. Yeah.
because I
Didn't Rob's character like lose?
no, didn't lose them, but didn't gain them either.
Yeah.
So every level he didn't gain hit points. He was playing a wizard that had like -4 constitution or something stupid. So
Yeah.
like he never gained hit points and just started with 2. And I was walking around as like a massive tank paladin or something, managing to survive. That was the only reason that we didn't TPK right there.
Yeah. I remember all of you asking if you were actually going to be geese, and I was like, no, you can't be the geese.
Yeah. How dare you?
I know.
Honestly,
I know.
I wanted to be a goose.
Well, too bad. You were not geese.
Yeah. How rude. No,
Yeah.
unacceptable. So we have a few questions that we're going to talk about. We also have
Actual
a general
topics.
topic that... This is a podcast. We can just talk about whatever we
Oh yeah, we can ramble about whatever the heck we want.
The topic that I came up with for this week, for generally, is our favourite and least favourite things about each of the characters we played. Despite being the go-to DM, I do still play characters. I'm playing 2 of them right now. They're
Wow.
both like human-looking dudes.
Yeah.
Sad times. I need to play another race other than human or custom lineage, because that free fee is... you're playing Cloak right now?
Yes.
Yeah, just Cloak, because you're only ever in one game. because you're lame like that.
Yes.
You could be in so many more.
Well, I'm a nerd, but I'm not that much of a nerd.
I've heard you say that before. You're the biggest Harry Potter nerd I know, at least.
Yeah, well, no, you know my mom.
Well, yeah. But we've played quite a few characters in our lives. I guess we could say that you've probably played 4, maybe 5, that you've managed to play for a decent amount of time.
5?
Edwin, Lockett.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's the 4.
Patch, Nyden.
Oh, I forgot about him. Shows how much I care
Nyden
about
was
that
pretty
character.
forgettable.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've played about as many as you, to be fair, because I don't get to play that much in comparison.
Yeah, but then again,
I
you
just
probably
switch up
don't
and
have
things like that.
DMs that kill off your characters very quickly.
I've only ever done that once.
You killed off Patch, and I still don't forgive you for that.
I also killed off everyone else.
Yeah,
'Cause
but I still don't forgive you for Patch.
That was a disastrous TPK that was not my fault.
Yes, it was.
It wasn't my fault.
Yes, it was. I'm not forgiving you for that.
I think everyone in the call, though, was just like, no, that wasn't...
Yes, that did not happen. That was a fever dream. Never happened. Non-existent.
I gave you guys the option of just saying that didn't happen, because that's
Yes.
lame as shit, to die at a random encounter.
Yes.
But at the same time, that would ruin a lot of the game.
Yeah.
Because then it'd be like, oh, well, we've died, and it wasn't in a significant fight. I guess we can go back to the save point.
Yep.
Which is not how that works. So, but I did give you guys the choice, because I knew you were very attached to your boy. You had
Yes.
20-something sessions with him, I think. Something like that.
It might be
I wasn't
more.
counting back then.
Might have been more.
Probably more. Probably way more. In any case, so you're playing Cloak right now, who is
Yes.
a gnome
Ooh.
archfey warlock.
Yes, I forgot that. To be honest, all I knew was, yeah, he's a gnome warlock.
He's just a gnome, really. That's
Yeah.
his main shtick so far has
Yep.
been Eldritch Blast and talking to the rats.
Yes, I have made a rat army.
We're not
So-
there yet.
Well, we're talking about the rat army whether you like it or not.
It's currently a small rat network.
Yes.
It's spreading.
Yes. So I was inspired by Sherlock with his homeless network, and I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I have a character that could speak to small animals, and we're in this weird ass town, abundant with rats. So, you know what? Rats. Let's make them talk to me and then do my bidding. So now I have a rat army. I'm gonna be the motherfucking piper with my and that is where we're gonna go. Even though he can't play an instrument to save his life.
Yeah, you're just gonna have one anyway and play
Yes.
off key. The rats don't know better. They have like one
No.
intelligence. They're good.
Yes.
So yeah, Cloak's been up to shenanigans talking to rats, and occasionally a rat will pop up and be like, "Yo, sup? I got some
found
news
you
for
some
you."
food.
They haven't done that yet, but they're doing it. They ran into the palace right now to
Good.
go and try and get you some food in exchange for
Good.
cheese that you don't have.
Yes. Yes.
In any case, what's your favourite part of Cloaksman?
Definitely the rat network, but then again, also because for those of you who have literally just joined and have never heard of me in my life before, Cloak has been running over several campaigns now just because, well, he lasted 2 sessions in the last campaign before literally everybody else died except Rich's character. So I was like, you know what, I'm not having that. My character's going into the next campaign because I'm not making a character for 2 sessions and then pissing off with it and making a new one. So we've shifted him to this one, and now I've forgotten what I'm on about. What was I on about?
You were just giving them context about who Cloak was more than anything.
Oh, yes, that was it. I was going to talk about the dragon.
Ah.
So basically, in the last campaign, one character died to a red dragon in a volcano, which Jake's talked about like nobody's business because he does that. And so my idea was, you know what, I'm going to fuck with everyone. So basically, with me being a warlock and whatever level we are, I'm able to cast Major Image. So I got the character on this boat by himself because all of his other crew members died. And, well, basically, he now was like, well, shit, here's a big boat full of people, and decided, you know what's scary? Dragons! Rah! And literally shit scared everyone. And
they
to
had
my
a
day, that's
fight.
my favourite.
They had a fight with a dragon, and I think most people still thought they were fighting a dragon after about 5 minutes, because it was like immune to Eldritch Blast, and everyone was like, what?
Yes.
What's immune to Eldritch Blast? And then people started holding on to it when it realised that the dragon did nothing on its turn except just be menacing.
Yes. And making weird noises. Because
it was like lion noises, and then progressively devolved into cat noises.
Yes. Because basically, my idea for Cloak was that he never really truly knows what he's doing things about, so like, he doesn't know the certain colour of dragons, so he will have only ever seen a dragon coloured. Well, not coloured, but drawn, so it would have to have been a black dragon because pen and charcoal and shit. So he had this, like, black dragon, but he didn't know what a dragon sounded like, so he's like, you know what sounds like a dragon? A lion. Actually, maybe that doesn't sound like a dragon, maybe it's more like a cat. So it progressed between the two.
Same thing happened with the T-Rex that you polymorph someone into, and they sounded like a bird.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where that came from,
well,
but I mean, I love it. So that's been kind of like your favourite elements.
Yeah, I like pissing about with things.
Yeah. It's very fun to have all those weird illusion things where, even though they're not like, because I'm a bit of a min-maxer. I like things to be optimised for combat. But I've noticed you don't do that really much.
I really don't give a shit, to be honest.
Like, you've had very powerful characters before. Naiden was strong as shit.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's true.
You know, he just didn't do anything outside of combat. There wasn't much for him to do, in all honesty.
Yeah, I got bored of him very easily.
Yeah. Plus, apparently the voice was a bit difficult to
Yeah,
maintain.
well, yeah, so I was trying to do an Australian accent for him, and then after a while I was like, you know what, this takes too much of my brain power to figure out how an Australian would say these certain words. So I was like, no.
I think it's much better if you're playing a character and you don't do a voice, because honestly then you focus more on what your character's actually going to be doing, rather than I need to make sure I say this right.
Yeah.
I do accents, but it's because they come a lot more naturally to me.
Yeah, see, Australian didn't come as easy to me as American did, but I think that happened because I'd been playing Patch for so long, it just became like second nature.
Yeah.
Plus, all of the media we watch is pretty much American media anyway.
Yeah.
There's hardly any Australian media, although I've watched a surprising amount of it. Cough, cough. Australia's Biggest Loser.
Biggest Loser, that's what it's called.
H2O, Just Add Water. You know that mermaid thing where they turn into mermaids if you...
That's Australian?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen some art from it, or like pictures or something.
And also Dance Academy. That's another one I've watched.
Yeah.
So I've watched a surprising amount of Australian media in comparison to what I imagine the regular Brit does.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, same here. I just watched media from every different nation. I'm playing 2 characters right now that I do voices for. One is pretty much just me, but I'm talking like this instead, because he's just like a slightly bigger version of me. And then the other's an Irishman, and I'm not doing that here right now.
Yeah.
Because that would be awful. But yes, I'll actually be playing him tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's very cool. I'll talk about my favourite thing about one of them, and then we'll go back to you. I'm playing a dude right now called Orson Master Sworn, which rolls off the tongue very well. And he's like a human fighter bodyguard dude. And one of the main things that define him, because he himself has like no personal goals, he does not care about anything, is that Ryan, our mate, is playing Orson's brother, Hamish, like a taller wizard version of him, and he's annoyed that he's taller and a wizard. And I think the main thing that I enjoy with it, there's 2 main things. One is that he's very powerful, because fighters like to hit things a lot. And he can also like reduce damage on other people around him. He's a big old bodyguard dude. But also because of the amount of shenanigans me and Ryan do. We had like a 5-minute sibling argument last session.
That doesn't surprise me, to be honest.
Yeah. I think it was about like, I don't know, how Ryan took a feat that gave him cure wounds as a wizard, and he wouldn't shut up about it. in character, and then I just started making fun of him, like, you're a sorcerer then. And we just started going off on each other for about 5 minutes, and it was the best 5 minutes of my life. And then the like 80-something-year-old character just butted in and went, "Alright boys, calm down." And then Ryan was just like, "Yeah, awesome, calm down." I was like, "Shut up." And it's just that sort of stuff that makes it like funny as hell, because we're in a big dungeon right now. I don't know if we will be now, because James has got tired of a big dungeon after about 20-something sessions. It can get tiring. There's so many hallways. Oh my god, I don't know how anyone's gonna complete Mad Mage. But yeah, that's my favorite thing about him. He's easy as well, because his voice is pretty much mine, and he doesn't have that many motivations. He's pretty chill. How about we talk about some bad stuff? Your least favorite thing about any of your characters? Just shoot.
Well, Naiden was his accent and the fact that I literally didn't like him at all.
You didn't like him as a person?
Well, it's not just that. I just felt like he was boring.
Yeah, I think he like went outside what you normally do.
Yeah.
Which is, I need one first name for my character.
Yeah, that is.
Naiden had a
way.
Surname and it just ruined it.
Yeah. It's surprisingly that 3 out of 5 of my characters had one name.
Yeah.
And I preferred all of them 3 to the other 2.
Did Locket have a surname?
No.
No.
Edwin did.
Did Edwin?
Yeah. Can't
Yeah.
remember it, but Edwin did.
You
Speaking
did.
of Edwin, I didn't like not knowing what the fuck spells did. But that's on me.
Druid was an awful thing to jump into to start off with.
You know who told me to do that?
Yeah, Rory.
Yeah. And I was like, cool, okay. Yes, I'll do this. Yeah, anyway. So
It worked out. You were still useful.
Well,
but, like,
yeah.
There were way
I
more
mean-
cool things that you could have been doing that you weren't, because you were just like,
'Cause
well,
I
I know
was
Thornwhip.
And I know Fairy Fire. I'm not going to lie to you, the first couple of sessions, I swear to God, I thought Fairy Fire did damage.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, Fairy Fire.
No, it
And
wasn't doing
again-
damage, but it's still really useful.
Well, yeah. But I was like, I'm causing you damage, take that.
I think at the time, yeah, that's fair to think, because I'm casting a magic spell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's making a big explosion. It's gotta
do some damage. Pew pew, bitch. Die.
It was doing some,
Well,
technically, because it was giving other people
yes.
better hit stuff. And then
But you know,
Yeah, and then you slowly began to learn how some of it worked.
yes.
And then I killed her.
Yes.
Cause
I'm not as bothered about Edwin's death. The only death I care about, as I've already mentioned in this podcast, is Patch, because he is my literal child. Well, not literal, but you know what I mean. He was birthed from my brain cells, so yeah.
Such a great way of putting it. A character birthed from mine own brain cells.
Well, yes. I mean, it's true.
It
Nobody
is.
else came up with Patch. Well, maybe they did, but I don't know that person. Anyway.
I mean, the blind monk archetype is,
Yeah.
you know, around, and you've also got that. You also had that Karate Kid thing going on. But
Yes.
Patch is entirely unique in his own way. I can't think of anyone else in media that was like him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, a character normally for me starts with, like, I have a cool idea from media. Like, my character Awesome was inspired from Final Fantasy, and then my character Angel that I'm playing right now was inspired from Sherlock Holmes and stuff like that. But now they're just, like, they don't relate to that whatsoever, because I've done, like, a lot of sessions with them, and they're completely different. I think that if I were to go on about anything that I didn't like about any of the characters that I've played, currently, my character Angel that I'm playing, who's very cool, Irish, swag, he looks like he's from Peaky Blinders. The one thing that I haven't liked about him is that I built him to be kind of like a detective, and we have had no chance to do any of that. I mean, we have, but we did it too quick. We sped run Dragon Heist. We did all of it and got to the vault and everything and finished the campaign in 11 sessions.
Jeez.
And remember when it took you guys like 20
Yeah.
to just get to like
To die.
well, just to leave. Oh, just to leave. Like, you left the city around session 20 or something. You'd been spending ages in there because we'd had like side sessions where you just kind of went off and did your own thing. Like, there was that session with just like 4 of the party where
yeah.
you guys dealt with the drow guy
Yes.
that I think blinded Patch.
I think we decided that was the thing, but he was doing it for Jarl Axel.
Yeah, and Jarl Axel was the big bad, but you guys had to go along with him because otherwise he would murder all of you.
Yeah. And he stole my motherfucking boots, the piece of shit.
Yeah.
My cool ass, sneaky ass boots.
They were
Bitch.
his.
Well,
They were
too
his
bad.
friends.
I'd taken them, they were mine now.
That, to be fair, that's entirely fairly what Patch the 11-year-old could have been thinking. Like, they were mine though.
Yeah.
I got them from a guy. They're mine now.
Yeah, I took them, they're mine. Finders keepers, bitch.
Yeah. I think that also my fighter guy, Orson, the main thing that I don't like about playing him is that he has one thing that he can do on his turn, and that's hit things. That's what he does, and that's it. Granted, I'm playing a Battle Master, so I have different ways to hit things, but I still just hit them. So that's why classes like Paladin and Ranger are just the sexiest to me. Because not only do you hit things, but you cast spells. And then also you're just amazing. I want to play a Ranger, they're so cool. I think you played like
That's
one
a
once.
controversial topic, do people say?
What? Thinking Rangers are cool?
Yes. I've seen many a meme being like, Rangers are shit!
Who here watching this doesn't think The Mandalorian is cool?
Yeah, seriously. If you don't think The Mandalorian is cool, leave. Now.
Mandalorian's a Ranger.
Yeah,
Full on.
well.
Just with some tech.
Mandalorian is the shit.
And
It is great.
Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. If you don't like him and you don't like Rangers, and that's weird, honestly. Rangers are just cool. I don't know why everyone thinks that they're not. They're, like, they can be just as powerful as anyone else. But since they're put next to paladins who get smite and shit, it's like, oh, they're so bad. They're just awful. The only thing that I would say is that they should get heavy armor. That's it. That's the only thing. Cool. So we've gone over some stuff about what we liked and dislike about our characters and stuff. Let's answer one of the questions in here. How about we do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about we do?
What if we didn't though? What if we ignored everyone?
Well.
So we've got the question from Ashley. Thank you. I'll do the emote that I replied with. You know that one. What's your opinion on what makes a good character backstory?
Death! Trauma!
Your 2 best characters have had the most traumatic
Yes.
backstories, to be fair.
Yes. Patch literally got blinded by a fucking drow.
At like age 6.
At age 5, actually. Then thrown onto the streets to live as a poor little 5-year-old that's blind. His parents are dead.
Well, you
Because,
don't know that.
well, he thinks that his parents are dead,
Fair.
so that's what we're going with. His parents are dead. Then this old-ass man comes along and is like, hello, child, I will save you, and takes him off to this weird-ass, massive-ass mountain place where they're fighting people.
He's
and
not a
he's like,
nonce. He's not a nonce.
what?
You made him sound like a nonce.
Oh. Yeah, it's Hlam, if you didn't know.
Clam is an NPC from Waterdeep Dragon Heist, who's a big old monk, and I thought since you were
Yes.
making a monk that was blind and needed a home in Waterdeep, he made sense.
But Patch was like, the fuck is this dude doing to me? But cool, okay, I'm a 5-year-old, we do this shit. And yeah, and then Cloak basically fucking, I can't remember what the fuck happened before,
Well,
but then
his-
all his crewmates died,
Yeah.
and then he's left on a boat alone, scared shitless, so he's like, cool.
And Naiden had the best life.
Yeah, he was my odd character. He literally just wanted his mum made him want to get a job. His
Yeah.
mum was like, Naiden, you're a rich noble, get a job. And he was like, okay.
I'm gonna go be a pirate, because that's the first thing I thought of.
So in my opinion, death and trauma.
He had some dark elements. Like, you know, his family was a bit shit.
Yeah, well, you gotta sprinkle a little bit of that shit in there, you know?
Yeah.
That's in my
Dickhead older brother, dickhead
Yeah.
dad,
Just add
dickhead
some
younger
dickheads.
siblings.
If you want a reasonably okay backstory, just throw some dickheads in there. You know, whether they be family members,
Yeah.
like, you know, whatever.
I mean,
Throw
to be fair.
dickheads in there, like.
So, I agree with that, and then you can also do a 180 with it. So, my character Angel has the best life. Just the absolute best. There was some parts about his past that he didn't like. So basically, he was born a druid with a bunch of weird hippie druids, and he was taught to like stab wolves at age 4 and like shoot them at age 5 with spears or something, and went hardcore. And when he was about 20 or something, like he realized that, ooh, there's like cool cities out there. I could go do that instead. So then he did. He did nick the money that the tribe had before he left, like a dick. But that was pretty much the only bad thing that ever happened in his life. He kind of just didn't like being out in the woods. That's the only thing. And he came to Waterdeep, and he was a hobo for a bit, and he loved it. He absolutely loved just chilling on the streets, being poor, getting random food from bins and stuff. It was the life for him. And then he got rich, and he loved it even more. He likes money a lot, and that's honestly, Dragon Heist was the perfect adventure for him to be in. So he was perfectly happy and content, but wanted to just go on adventures anyway to mess around with stuff. Meanwhile, Orson saw about 500 people die in front of him.
Well, shit.
Yeah, it's a bit of a 180. He has the darkest backstory I've ever played. He's very edgy because of it. But he was part of a mercenary group, and everyone kept dying in front of him. His missus as well died. Sexy ass elf girl.
What a shame.
Missed out. And his whole thing is that he managed to survive both, and that's like his curse. Like, everyone around him dies, but he lives, and even though he's a bodyguard, he can't do his job that well. So there's dramatic irony in that, and it's very sad because now the only thing he has left is his younger brother, who's a dick.
See, we're coming back to the throw some dickheads in there story.
That's honestly true. Like, there's some things that I left in there as well that meant that maybe he could get back at the dickheads. Like the guy who killed all of his people or like led the charge or something, still alive. Like, he could go and deal with that if he wanted, but at the same time, he's too strong. Orson can't do that. That's what I think makes a good backstory. Extremes. You either go, everything was awful, or everything was pretty much fine. And having something really bad happen in the past is always an incentive for something good to happen in the present. So, like with Patch's eyes, you know, blindness happened, and about 20 something sessions in, you guys had helped out some lady who could solve it, and she gave you your sight back in exchange for you basically being a free ally whenever they wanted it. Like, when I was planning a massive attack on Waterdeep after about 50-60 sessions of you guys just doing whatever all around and being back at home and being like, there's the dragon, fuck. And while that was happening, you would have been activated and you would have got to ride the dragon.
Ooh. That would have been sick.
It would have been worth it to...
Yeah. That would have been sick.
Yeah, to be fair, just anyone in D&D wants to ride a dragon. The dragons don't want that to happen normally, though. They're all too prideful for it to happen, except when you're being mind controlled.
Yes.
So that might have happened. But yeah, it kind of let you get your sight back.
Shut up a sec, because the movie has stopped recording. The audio was still up and gone. Well, going, but yeah.
Yeah, you can just
Anyways.
edit in like an image or something. We're back. Hello, it's the camera.
Hold
again.
on.
Why does it?
Hold on.
Why does it do that? Why does it like
because
shut
it's
up?
like, you've been recording for half an hour. Shut the fuck up.
How dare we? Honestly. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on backstory. With yours, it's, I suppose, just put as much tragedy as you can in there.
Yes.
You always do that, and then they're just really happy people.
Yeah.
Like, Patcher made sense. He's like 11, and he's
Yeah.
just chill. But Cloak, yeah,
He's
also
just like, you know what? Fuck that shit. Everyone died. You know what? What's the point in being miserable? Let's just go about my life and pretend like that shit didn't happen.
I feel like Cloak's just the living embodiment of fuck it.
Yeah.
He just does whatever. We have another question where
Do we?
you might... Well, not really.
Oh, right.
But it was a video recommendation that I think would be better to just talk to you about. You know what I mean?
okay.
And rant about stuff
Yes,
and all the modules
sure.
that I've played in. Ranking all of the different campaigns and stuff that D&D has made. You've played in one.
Technically 2.
Yeah?
For like 1 session. 2.
Ah, right, yes.
Yeah.
Kinda. So you have a little bit of input on Dragon Heist. How did you find
Well, I fucking love Dragon Heist. I don't know, I just felt like I really vibed with the whole thing. I don't know. I think having the, like, place that we lived as, like, a main base and having, like, the relationships with characters that were already there, that, and then, like, going out and talking to, like, other NPCs and shit. I think that's what I liked the most, because I know that Patch frequented the pub several times just to go see this Davil guy who was saying, "Wagwan, Patch, I'll fix your eyes, just do some evil shit for me, thank you." So I think that, combined with the fact that we had this, like, main place and we could just fuck about and go wherever, and I think that all together was what made me like it more. And I think with it being like, ooh, there's some evil shit going over here today, there's some more evil shit over there, you know what, no, now there's nothing. You can just chill. Oh wait, but there's still evil shit going on in the background. Not that you know it, but there's even more evil shit. And then you're like, what's this? It's the evil shit you didn't know about, come back to whap you in the ash.
That did happen several times. Like, you guys had just kind of let the entire campaign
I mean,
go
we
on
let
while you
fucking
guys...
gods deal with some shit that we couldn't give a crap
There
about.
was... You know the chapter with the Growlin Villa? And, like, how there's a massive spa going on in an entire mansion, and it's really cool. The party did the second thing, which I've never seen anyone do, which is just, City got on it.
Yeah, we were like,
We're just
don't
gonna
really
go
give
to
a shit.
sleep. Because I think you guys had combat
I think so.
before then as well, so that was kind of like, do we want to go in there when we've just spammed a bunch of shit? Because we thought, this is level 3, we'll just do whatever.
Which is like, maybe not.
So yeah, that's your opinion on Dragon Heist. Dragon Heist is my second favourite module I've ever run. It gives the players a lot of freedom. I personally very much like it. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10, full on. The only thing that I feel like it doesn't do amazingly is it... they could have done a bit more, if you know what I mean. The module in itself is one of the smallest, I believe. And I feel
the book
like
was pretty thin.
the book was pretty thin, yeah. So something they could have done is that they had all of these other NPCs that had like small descriptions. So Hlam in and of itself, very unimportant to the main story, could have maybe just wrote like, I think 30 to 40 pages of extra shit that you could just throw at your party just at any time would be awesome. They do some of that stuff in the book, but like just literally at any time whatsoever.
I do feel like if they had expanded on characters more and had them have at least some interactions with the party, that it would make it more interesting, because like those, like I said earlier, those relationships between me and those NPCs is what made me like it.
Yeah. And
I think if they don't do that, like if they don't interact with NPCs, it's probably not going to be as fun.
Waterdeep has a lot of moving parts, and the book shows you where they are and doesn't tell you always how to move them. So that's the only complaint I have with it, the literally only one. Then we move on to the perfect module, Tomb of Annihilation, which it's not perfect. It has its flaws as well. It's just a very specific sort of play style that I had been lacking until I decided to run it, and it's like, D&D is a game? Tomb of Annihilation is very gamey, which is one of the things that kind of turns people off. It's the only module, I think, that never mentions Milestone, which is what most people use nowadays. It's extremely hex-crawly, traditional, takes place in an old setting, and that can turn a lot of people off, but when you play it, you realise it's like the deepest module ever. Like, every single place links in with each other, and the final dungeon is the sexiest thing that I've ever looked at. I've showed Laura like a bit of it, I think.
I think so.
Showed you the final boss thing.
Was that big room?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. I'm very excited to run that. I would also give Tomb of Annihilation a 9 out of 10. I've just been having an absolute blast running it. My party's just made like the perfect group to go into it. One character is like a storytelling bard mixed with a survivalist rogue, like native of Chult. And there's plenty of like stories going around. There's like the Tale of the Nine Gods, which is this like really old Aztec style story about all of these animals fighting each other and stuff like that helps you win puzzles. It's just really interesting, I think. Curse of Strahd, you've seen some of Curse of Strahd. You haven't
did
played
I
it.
really pay attention? Because I was trying to run the stream. No.
Curse of Strahd is also one of my favourites. I think it's probably got the best structure, where it's literally just like, here's all the places. The party are there. They do whatever. And there's quests and events, kind of, but there's not really rewards for any of them. It's more so just you get to try and fight back against the devil. I've said a lot about Curse of Strahd. You can check the 20 plus video series about that, but I would give it an 8 out of 10. It's like one of the older ones, so there's of course things that I don't exactly like about it. Like I think it relies too much on letting the party just kind of go do whatever. In the time that I'd ran it fully through and completely, when they got to like level 7, they did not want to do any of the side stuff anymore, and they were too set on the main stuff, so they never went to go deal with like the werewolves. They never properly explored some other areas and stuff like that. They barely went through Castle Ravenloft. It's so good, but there's no reason to go through it that much, other than to find Strahd. But once you do, it's like, well, there we go, we've won. There's some other modules that I've played in / run. I've tried to run Storm King's Thunder, which was the shittiest time of my life. It's really weird. It's just like, here's all of the places. Here's like a paragraph about Waterdeep. Now run it.
Huh.
It kind of feels like that, and it's just like, go read the other book to figure out what happens here. And it makes you prep, which is not something that I would like. I've ran a bit of Out of the Abyss as well. I think it's a good adventure. The start is quite an interesting way of beginning. It lets the party slowly build up resources and stuff. And I think if I were to run it again, I'd skip the survival part and go straight to like level 7 or 8 and just say, go down into the Underdark and kill all the demon lords. That's way more fun to me. The final fight is also the best looking thing in the world, where apparently it lets players each control a demon lord and they just fight each other. That's fucking amazing. I played a bit in Princes of the Apocalypse. It seemed to have no structure and really just, it was a bunch of dungeons. I should rate Out of the Abyss and Storm King's Thunder. Storm King's Thunder 3 out of 10, Out of the Abyss 5 out of 10, because the start is eh. Prince of the Apocalypse is just a bunch of dungeons and like a story. It seems fine. I haven't really played enough, like 5 out of 10 maybe. Have you heard of the reputation of Horde of the Dragon Queen?
No.
Apparently it's just the shittiest one in existence. Now, I don't agree, which is something that people are going to lampoon me for, but the DM that I had was new and went with this. They didn't know what they were doing, and somehow they made it fun. It's like the worst one ever. It gives you nothing and just tells players to go on the road, do the quest, or there's nothing else to do. But he improvised a buttload of random stuff, and I think that's how you make Horde of the Dragon Queen kind of good. He could have just chose something different, but I've read through a bit of it, and it is bad. 2 out of 10. What else is there that I've touched before? There's Tales from the Yawning Portal, which has Tomb of Horrors in it. What did you think of that while you were there for a bit?
I hated it. Whether it was the combination of that and playing all clerics that I didn't like, probably, but me and puzzles can suck ass. Friggin' hate puzzles because I can't solve them. They have to be easy as shit, otherwise I won't get it. And then I'm like, well, shit, I can't get through this now. So, no, 0 out of 10 for me. Hated that.
The players that did stick around really liked it.
Well, I'm not them, because I was like, absolutely not.
Oh, they still got screwed over. Rob had cycled through 3 characters by the time that they finished. Yeah. The first one died because they became chaotic evil and trapped everyone in a room and ran off. The next one had died because he found a stone that gave him wish and wished to become a god, so he became the god of rats, but forever sealed to be a rat, and no one will ever know that he's the god of rats, so no one will be able to free him. So he just lives as a rat with the knowledge that he is the god of rats. And then the last one was like a paladin that actually survived because they were like 2 rooms from the final. 7 out of 10 for me. Tomb of Horrors was great, honestly, because I literally told everyone, don't roleplay. This is not a role-playing game now. This is a puzzle dungeon. Beat it. What else have I touched? Played plenty of Mad Mage. For one, doesn't really link to Dragon Heist too well, but Big Dungeon is very fun. It always has new and weird ideas to shock you with. I imagine it might get a little bit old after a while. It hasn't for me yet, but it did with our DM, which I perfectly understand. 7 out of 10 for me there. And then, what else is there? I'm playing in Descent into Avernus right now, which is you go to hell. It's not really got much of a story that I've noticed. Mm-hmm. Like, it's got a story. I don't care about it enough, though. However, I do care about the fact that we have a massive car. It's like a massive... It's got, like, horns at the front where you can, like, ram into things, and its wheels are, like, bladed so you can run over shit. And, like, the general premise is you're in hell and you have a car and you can find motorbikes and, like, massive demolition machines. And I've seen some crazy stories. I heard someone talk about how, like, the level 7 party rolled, like, a pit fiend, which is, like, a CR20 something thing, that, like, started attacking them. So on the car, they were, like, driving away from it and had, like, a minigun on the back and were just shooting this absolutely ginormous thing. And it doesn't seem like that big of a story game, but I cannot wait to shoot miniguns at pit fiends. It's like a 6 out of 10 for me, I think. And... I think that's all. Oh, Icewind Dale. I think I've told you about my feelings about Icewind Dale.
Yes, I think you have.
I hated running it. It was not my sort of game at all. It felt way too slow and without motivation. And overall, the start was very slow and boring and got too annoying for me to deal with, so I stopped after 11 sessions, 4 out of 10. The rest seemed great, but we could never get to it. So yeah, there's all the modules. I suppose we can talk a bit about Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft as well, because you're playing in an adventure there.
Am I?
Yeah. Ikath is from Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft.
I thought you came up with that yourself.
The general premise I took from the book, but I have made a lot of stuff myself.
Right.
So like the whole contracts idea, that was mine. The big guardian wolf thing. Whatever it is, like lion thing that helped you guys out. What have you thought about it? You've played 2 sessions in it?
I think it's weird, but I like it. I was like, I've been keeping a track of all of the weird ass days in my book, and I've figured that shit out now. If it's an even day, something or other. If it's an odd day, something or other, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I have to look back in my book, but that's upstairs in my bedroom. But other than that, I kind of quite like it, because you can't die if you're in the dream place, because then you just come back. So, like, we've decided that we're not going to go anywhere in real life. We're just going to be like, cool.
I mean, you have before.
I mean, yeah, but, like, not die. Like a motherfucking badass. And then just go and do shit and fuck up that weird-ass bitch and try to throw off a tower in Dreamland. Even though that failed.
That completely backfired. She had telekinesis, and just the guy that was about to boot this main villain lady off the top of a bell tower, she rolled higher initiative than him and telekinesised him off the tower.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was quite funny, actually, and then Cloak was like, fuck that shit.
You
Bye.
literally just ran right afterwards. I think you got an opportunity attack by her, because she has, like, floating scrolls that bat.
Yeah, I think she did. Because I was like, absolutely not, bye-bye. But to be fair, James's character Cornelius was the first to fucking leave. He was like...
It was before even the fight started.
Yeah,
He
Cornelius was
just
like, fuck that shit.
No, that is an evil lady. Goodbye.
Yeah. And in other news, I love how James does the voice for Cornelius.
Oh my
Absolutely
god. I don't know how he
me.
maintains it.
No, me neither.
He has one of the deepest voices of any young man that I know. And
yeah.
He's managing to talk like a freaking gremlin.
Yeah. He does a good job of it.
Yeah. Right, Ryan's being Texan. It's going perfectly well. Apart from, he says y'all when even referring to just one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, it's great. The character mix-up is pretty great. And they do have a cleric, so they are winning.
Who's the cleric?
Rob's character.
Oh.
He's mostly rogue, but a bit cleric.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because like, doesn't he get sneak attack?
Yeah.
That's what threw me off.
So he's 2 levels of cleric and like 5 of rogue, I think, to mix that up, so he can have a duplicate. That was his
Makes
main idea.
sense.
But the other one's more useful because you're dealing with like pretty much only zombies. But yeah, that one's been fun. Our DM that does, which is actually James, Mad Mage, is also running something from here that he seems very excited for. So it looks like this place has so many ideas, and it's great because you kind of get to build off them a lot. I'd say 7 out of 10 on this book. I did have to come up with a lot of my own stuff. I chose deliberately the both easiest and hardest game to run in there, because Ikath is the only one that doesn't have a map, because everything changes constantly. But in exchange, that also means that I don't have to plan as much, because I can't plan, because everything changes all the time. So I have made a lot of stuff up. So like, I've literally just, so that weird girl, the eye girl.
Oh yeah, I thought she was gross.
That you met.
I honestly considered Eldritch blasting her as soon as we saw her, and I was like, don't trust you.
I mean, it's fair to not trust her.
I really was thinking of Eldritch blasting her, and then Ryan was like, no, we're going to talk to her. And I was like, I don't trust this bitch.
Kind of worked. She seemed friendly enough.
Yeah, that's why I was like, do
you still not trust her?
No, I still feel like I want to Eldritch blast her, but Cloak is just like, do I?
Get the rats to just kill her while everyone else isn't looking.
Psst, rats. Okay, look, there's this weird ass eye bitch, okay, and I want you to nibble on her while she's asleep. Nom nom.
Oh my
Steal
god,
all her
that's great.
shit for me, rats.
But yeah, she was like, so I literally just wrote down that she can just be in any of the houses where people are sleeping and just nicking their stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's what she does.
Did I also tell you I considered cutting her apart to see if that weird ass scroll was inside her?
I think you did mention
I
that
think
somewhat.
I did.
You were like, maybe we need to like
I was
kill
like,
her or something.
Yeah, because Cloak's like, do you kill her?
That chaotic good mentality of just, it might be evil, we might need to kill it.
Yes.
I think there might be good things if we kill it. You would have got the scroll if you killed her. But people managed to convince her.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why no one else is stepping up. Ryan does not have, his character has 6 charisma. He's just reasonable.
I'm just not very good at talking. Myself.
I know, but like no one else is either.
Yeah.
Everyone just lets Ryan do it.
Just like,
poor dude.
Ryan can talk. Good job, Ryan.
This is one of the reasons that for our session 0 thing that I'm going to do for Sunday, I'm literally just going to act as if I'm one of you guys, and I'm not going to talk that much. Mm-hmm. Like, so everyone else comes up with the ideas, and it's not a campaign where me, Ryan, and James are playing the game, and
everyone else is like,
Yeah, I deliberately leave space sometimes to let other people just kind of do whatever, but then they don't.
Yeah. It's like, look, okay, I have days when I feel more motivated to talk than others, and then other times I'm just like, eh.
The most I've ever heard you talk to anyone was the rats.
Yes.
I was impressed.
My
you
rat
held
army.
You monologued to the rats. That's the most I'd ever heard you talk in D&D.
I got attached to the rats.
I don't blame you, honestly. I think that's the first episode of our podcast, yeah?
Yeah, well, we've been talking for like 50 minutes, so...
Luckily, you don't really have to edit this, right?
Well, other than the fact when the video stopped and sort of fucked us over.
Canon, fix your cameras.
I mean, it's not really a problem, it just finished after half an hour. It was like, you guys should shut the fuck up.
Fix your cameras, Canon. Imagine if any camera on like a film set did that.
They would be like, absolutely fucking not, this is a piece of shit. Buy a new one.
We have good quality, I swear. But yeah, thank you for joining us. If you want to submit questions to this, we only got 2, but we milked the hell out of them. You can go ahead and join our Discord, where you can leave ideas in our Ideas for Videos channel.
Also, you failed to mention every single time in each video that the Discord has like updates for like changing in the channel or delays and shit. And if you actually give a shit about the channel, I don't know if you do or not, but you should really join the Discord, because We haven't got the feature where we can do updates on YouTube yet.
Yeah, we don't have the community tab.
Yeah, so all of our updates for things like this week, well, no, last week, because this will be going out Tuesday. No, Friday. Yes, Friday. So last week we missed a video on Wednesday because we didn't do a Waterdeep video, and this week the videos have completely changed because scheduling and
It do be like that.
shit. So yeah, if you really do care and want to watch all of the videos and know what the fuck's going on with us, then you need to join the Discord.
You can also vote on videos.
Yeah, exactly. Whether you want to mute every other channel is completely up to you.
Yeah, you can literally just leave the announcements one. That's
Yeah.
more than fine. You can just know when we're uploading things and when we're not. But yeah, join it. We have some active people in there. We have some really cool people in there. We've got some sick ass moderators that if you're... we're all British, so we don't have every time zone covered. So for all we know, at 3 a.m, someone could just post a dick and we could do nothing.
Yeah, and then it'd just be on there till like whatever time anyone gets up.
I mean, James is on until like 4 a.m.
Well, if someone posted a dick at 3 a.m, then I think James would probably leave it up, knowing James.
He'd probably just reply nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of the podcast, make sure you subscribe. And you can also like it so that other people will be able to see it. We have a shop that you can click on a link below to look at as well. We have so many things that my brain implodes whenever I have to do this.
We also have Instagram, but we never use it because
I haven't posted on anything on
you
there
don't
Instagram.
post anything.
Well, I don't know why you made it and then give it to me and then just left it.
Because
You know I don't do social media.
Yeah, well, I'm like, well, I don't know enough about D&D to do a D&D Instagram, so
Just post
you
pictures of
can
the cat,
have
get
it.
us at 8 billion
Yeah.
likes. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not really related to D&D, is it? Just have the cat with some dice on her head.
Yes. No, we need to do that now. Send it to the
Okay.
Discord. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Adios, Behatch. Bye-bye. Say the last goodbye.
What? Bye.
Thank you.